What's good, everyone? In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about negative exponents and how to get rid of a negative exponent with two key rules. So, when we look at problem number one, x to the negative seventh power, we know that we can't have exponents with a negative exponent. So, to get rid of it, the first thing we want to do is to turn the problem into a fraction. So, I put x to the negative seventh over 1. And to get rid of our negative exponent, we're going to bring the top part of the fraction, x to the negative 7, to the bottom, and we're going to bring 1 to the top. So, our final answer for x to the negative 7th will be 1 over x to the positive 7th power. But let's say we have more than one exponent, like in problem number two. So in problem number two, we have 5x squared y to the negative third. So we notice that only one of these variables has a negative exponent, right? So let's just make sure we understand that. So after rule number one, I turned this problem into a fraction. The only variable and exponent that is negative is y to the negative third. So that's the only thing that has to move. So we're going to do the same thing by taking the reciprocal and bringing the y to the negative third to the bottom of the fraction. So to simplify problem number two, our final answer would be 5x squared all over y to the positive third power. Right? All right. So problem number three now. So now we're looking at a problem where there's more than one variable that has a negative exponent. So what we want to do here now, right, is just make sure that we identify that. So let's write our problem out. Negative 4. All right. So we notice that both of these, A and B, both have negative exponents, right? So we turn this into a fraction. And what I want you guys to understand is that nothing is going to happen to the 4, to that coefficient. We're only going to take the reciprocal of A and B because that is where the negative exponents are with those variables. So to simplify this, we would have negative 4 all over A to the positive second power now and B to the second power as well. Okay? So please just make sure you guys remember that not everything is going to come down to the bottom of the fraction, or you're not going to take the reciprocal of everything, I should say. But let's go into problem number four. So with these last three problems, the difference here is we're actually going to have to simplify by taking an extra step or two. So what this problem is saying in number three is they want us to take AB squared to the negative fourth power. So what they're asking us to do, right? They're asking us to take our exponents, and I'm just writing this out, and we're going to multiply it by that negative 4 on the outside. That's what it's telling us. We're multiplying exponents, right? So now we have a to the first power times negative 4 and b to the second power times negative 4 as well. And let's just make sure we highlight that so you guys see and know what we're talking about. So now when we simplify this step, we have a to the negative fourth and b to the negative 8. And the same problem arises. We have a negative exponent, which we can't have. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put that entire problem over 1. And because both a and b have negative exponents, I'm going to take the reciprocal of both of them. So our final answer, right, for this problem would be 1 all over a to the positive fourth power, b to the positive eighth power. Okay. Problem number 5. So number 5 is a little bit different. So one big thing we need to understand is we do have an exponent of -5 on the outside of the parentheses, but that only affects what's inside the parentheses. So nothing is going to happen to -8. -8 will stay the same. Okay. So let's just write that out. We have -8. And then in parentheses, we're going to write the multiplication problem out, right? So we have x to the -3rd, and we're going to multiply that by -5. And then we have y to the 4th multiplied by -5. So just remember, guys, when you have a set of exponents and you're raising it to another power, right? We're taking x and y and we're raising both of those to the -5th power. This is when we multiply the exponents, okay? Just to make sure we're on the same page. So once we do this, remember, -8 stays the same. It's outside the parentheses. We're going to get x to the +15th power and y to the -20th power. So, like I said earlier, we only take the reciprocal for the negative exponents. And the only negative exponent we have right here is going to be y to the -20th power. So, rule number 1, right, from those two key rules tells us to turn this into a fraction. So, I put everything all over 1. And after I put it over 1, what I want to do now to simplify is only take the reciprocal, only bring y to the -20 down to the bottom of the fraction. And once I do this, my final answer should be -8x to the 15th power divided by y to the 20th. So please just understand, guys, only the negative exponents, those are the only ones you're going to take the reciprocal for. So in problem number 6, guys, we have 3x and we're going to raise it all to the -3rd power. And to do this problem, we're going to break it down a little bit different from the others. So first, let's expand this. So we're going to take both 3 and x and we're going to raise both of them to the -3rd power. And just remember, when a variable does not have an exponent, we should know and assume that it has a power of 1. So once we multiply 1 times -3, right, this is how we get 3 to the -3rd power x to the -3. Now, before I start simplifying this, what I'm going to do is take the reciprocal of 3 to the -3rd power. I want to turn this into a fraction, right? And the reason why I'm doing that is just kind of to break this down a little bit, right? So first, let's put this all over 1, right? And let's make sure that we understand that the same thing is going to happen at x to the -3. So we take the reciprocal, right? 3 to the -3rd, x to the -3rd are going to come to the bottom of the fraction. 1 will go to the top because we have to have something there, right? Exactly. So once we simplify, we're going to have 1 over 3 to the 3rd power x to the 3rd power. And to simplify this now, we just have to expand 3 to the 3rd power. So our final answer should be 1 over 27 x to the 3rd power. So guys, when you're simplifying negative exponents, please remember these two simple rules, right? What we want to do is turn a problem into a fraction. And after we turn a problem into a fraction, we want to take the reciprocal to get rid of negative exponents. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. This is Algebra 1 with Mr. Peters. Please join us every Monday and Wednesdays for topic breakdowns and tips, 2 p.m. Eastern. And on Tuesdays, we have our test taking strategies, 3 p.m. Eastern. Please join us.